To be quite honest, I could be doing this, with just a laptop and an actual headphones, and that's that, in the kitchen table or in the sofa. I don't really need all this setup, but it's a nice thing to have it. I've always been fascinated by working from home, and I've always been the kind of guy who has invested and put a lot of effort in actually having my office, my studio, and everything in the house, so I can actually conduct my business here. And thank you for tuning in, and I just wanted to do a quick video update. I have installed some acoustic treatment on my studio here in the living room. I had them in my old studio here in the house, and the reason why I just I put this actually together yesterday, is because we were gonna be moving from this flat, and when I changed the studio from the small room that I had here in the house to the living room like more than a year ago now, I said I'm not gonna put the acoustic thingies on the wall because we're gonna be moving, and it's too much hustle. Then at the end of the day, we never moved really, so it was a little bit of a change of plans as we go along. Then the baby was born, and so we had to do a lot of adjustments as we go along. So my wife yesterday said to me, you should put the acoustic things on the walls. And I said, like, really? My wife is she's really supportive and everything, but nevertheless, I have the studio here in the living room. And as soon as she said, I don't want like more guitars in the middle of the living room, cables, things and stuff on the wall. But yesterday, as soon as she said that, I just stopped everything that I was doing, and I was working on uploading some music as I do. And I went straight to the Home Depot kind of like store, bought some silicone, and installed them immediately. Got really excited, so I just want to show it to you very quickly. So it looks really nice. It's far from perfect. It's not perfect treatment, but it is something. I had the panels already, so might as well just install them and give them some proper use. They were in the other room, glued to the wall, so it was like a waste, really. So yeah, you can say that in a way I was waiting for my wife to actually give me the okay to stuck them on the wall, and it looks quite neat. I think my studio's even though it's here in the middle of the living room or in a corner of the living room, it's very, very nice. It looks very, very neat, and yeah. See, my desk is quite big as well. I have taken the piano away because this is more than just the place where I record my music and mix and compose. This is my office. This is where I do business. This is where I work, and I take the piano or the keyboard controller away every now and then, and actually have the desk to just work and do some proper business stuff, boring stuff, I should say. So this is just my latest version of my studio. This is the third setup I have here in Greece since we moved from England. In England, I had a very, very small setup. Again, it was in the living room as well. My wife has dealt with this for many years. Me acquiring in more gear and more guitars and computers and things, and putting them in the living room, and try to justify why I'm doing this and why do I have all this gear. And if you have this kind of setup in the living room, you better make some money so you can actually justify it and be allowed to do it. But this is the third installation. This is the third version of a studio, and to be quite honest, I could be doing this with just a laptop and an actual headphones, and that's that, in the kitchen table or in the sofa. I don't really need all this setup, but it's a nice thing to have it. I've always been fascinated by working from home, and I've always been the kind of guy who has invested and put a lot of effort in actually having my office, my studio, and everything in the house, so I can actually conduct my business here. And the first studio I had in England, it was a very small studio, like I mentioned to you, and I was working back then in the guitar shop, and I was acquiring a lot of gear, a lot of guitars and stuff, because I was working in the guitar shop, and I can actually have easy access to the instruments and buy them at a very, very low cost. And just like learning the craft, I bought my version of Pro Tools. This is in early 2000, like 2002, maybe 3, around that time, and I was slowly investing on having like a home studio, start doing demos and recording and stuff like that. And over the years, obviously, I bought my computers and more gear, and but not really earning any money with that, and but I was always very, very fortunate to actually be able to set up like a little corner, a little caveman, if you will, at home. And when we moved from England to Greece, we were living in this nice flat, and it was a huge room where I have my studio. And I was actually I was doing guitar lessons there. It was enough space to actually just close the door and do some guitar lessons. I was actually producing as well a lot. Well, not a lot. I had like 2 clients. I had 2 singers, and they will come and they will sing, and I will actually record their songs, and I will produce them. I will actually record the instruments, and I learned a lot. That's before I started doing stock music. And that studio, that room in my previous flat, in our previous flat, it was quite big. It was really, really big, and but I haven't really earned money enough to justify having that big space. So when we moved into this house, it was a very small, I had to adjust and say, okay, we're moving to a smaller place, and what I'm gonna do with all this gear, the desk, everything is huge, so we had a little room. I have a video actually about it when I moved the studio from that little room here in my flat to the living room. I might put it, the link below, so you can actually see that, and I will probably put pictures as well so you can see how it looked. And it was working fine, but we had some issues with the air conditioning, and it's just it's a small room, So now we have it as a walk-in closet, really, and just have stuff there put away. And I moved here to the living room, and I can take care of my daughter. I mean, she's doing homework literally as we speak over there, and I can have like a lot of control while I'm doing stuff and working. You might think like, okay, how can you record music here from the living room? But there's really just recording and producing music is just one aspect of it. The rest is a lot of work. So I consider this an office. There's a lot of things that goes into doing stock music apart from just recording and doing production and having fun doing music. That's not it. It's not just that. There's more than that. So anyways, very exciting, because there's some new things in the pipeline. Yesterday I went as well to my accountant, sorting out things. It's like a new beginning. I'm working on other things in the background as well that I'm going to share with you as we go along. I joined a new library as well. It's a little bit more higher end, I've been told. And I will do a video about it. I know you guys are looking forward to other videos concerning edits and loops. I'm working on that as well. And the acoustic thing it's not like perfect, okay? It's not like, oh my God, it is, but it does improve a little bit the acoustic of the room. It's a big living room, so it's good enough for what I mean. If I have them already, it's not like I went and bought them. I had them for some time now, so I might as well just give it use, So it feels so different already. And I was thinking, I was saying to my wife, like, well, I can't wait to do a vlog and show it to you guys, because at the same time, it will make me look more professional as well. And but it feels good. It feels different as well, And it's a very basic setup of acoustic treatment, And I just installed it yesterday as we speak, and it's very, very encouraging to have little improvements here and there on your studio environment and your work environment to feel good, Again, you could be doing this with just a laptop and just some headphones, really, in the sofa or in your bed. So there's not much really to it, but it's nice to have a space to actually work and focus and take care of business as well. So anyways, man, yeah, another thing I wanted to really communicate to you guys is, just leave in the comments below if there's anything else that you actually want to see or want me to talk about. I see a lot of people asking me about edits and loops, both privately and on the comment sections, and a lot of questions about Audio Jungle. I mean, I got so many questions concerning Audio Jungle and Pond 5 and how to get started, and what do you do here and there. But you know, what's the biggest problems that some of you might have in terms of stock music, and if there's anything that I can address in a future video, or you know, a main concern, a main roadblock, you know, because I know I had many and starting off. So you know, I'm just want to engage more and have more of a conversation, and see where your guys at. I know some of you are already doing some kind of like music licensing, and you just like to communicate with me and share as well. And some of you guys are just starting off, and there's a lot of questions about why I get rejected in Audio Jungle, what's the policy, how do I fill up a tax form and all of this, what do I do with that, how do you put the watermark and all of this. So you know, what's the things that is the most what's the biggest problems you have really in terms of doing stock music and selling your music online. And yeah, man, that's it, you know. Again, thanks a lot for all the love and support, and for subscribing to my channel, and for sharing and all the lovely messages, both privately and on the actual videos. And as always, man, rock and roll, and see you on the other side of success.